Looks like we are live, Lorena.
I think we're live. Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the Motorhome Experiments last Saturday live in July of 2020.
Yes.
Before we get anything else done, let's make sure that we can hear us.
So, everybody, can you hear us all right? Is a question.
I know you can hear me even if you're parked within several
And we
miles.
see RV Wondering is here, Kevin and Laura.
Oh, you're gonna try and do that?
Debris. I know, right? It's like
The usual suspects.
Yeah, how you guys doing? Like, we have we're not gonna talk about it yet, but it's like we have an eventful day. I did not post anything.
You didn't post anything?
Nah.
Okay, there's an elephant in the room, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But you'll notice Lorena looks lovely, and I look like well, I always look like this, but I look a little dumpy. It's because I just woke up. Lori just woke me up.
Literally 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm honest with you, it's like I was not gonna go through the last Saturday today. And it's like, because this guy got hurt and he has been kind of like somewhat out the rest of the day. But it's like, even up until 15 minutes ago, he's like, we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
So, but we might not go the full 2 hours, just saying.
Oh, please.
Just
please.
saying.
So, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's staying safe and healthy in all this chaos. And we are still under full renovations.
Not full. I would say
we're in the final few days.
Final stages. The final stage.
Maybe the last week.
Well, no,
or
that
two.
That is going to put
This is going to set us back a few days.
That's going to put a dent into the schedule. What schedule?
Well, yeah, we don't
There's
have a schedule. Who are you trying to kid? They know we don't have a schedule.
But here's the thing: is like I thought renovations were gonna take. It's like, oh my god, it's a small RV. It should not take that long. It's like probably 2 weeks in and out, and we're done and we're good to go. And it has been a month, and oh my god, this RV has so many nook and crannies, and just like we have painted or changed or remodeled every surface, included problems. We actually had problems along the way renovating that we saw some damage in some places.
Right.
So there was some like fixing here and there too.
Some moments where we'd reveal something, and everybody knows this is how it works. You reveal some space as you're taking something apart, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, something else has come up. So, well, now that we've ran.
I have not seen that. We asked a question and I didn't pay attention, but my assumption is that yes, because I don't see I could not hear you, or you're just moving your lips and we cannot hear. I mean, that kind of stuff is like, so yeah. By the way, he's like, wine of the night, sponsored by Kevin and Farah. He's like, hey guys, you gave it to me in the RV thing, so that's amazing. So it has been a long time, but finally I get to try it. It's a sweet red. So
by who?
Landry Vineyards.
Okay.
So I'm not sure from where.
So you can let people know whether it's worth the buy or not.
West Monroe, Louisiana. So I'm from Louisiana.
Okay.
So yeah, there it is.
So thank you, Kevin and Farah.
And
tonight I will be cheating on Dr. Pepper and trying the A&W root beers. So yeah, that's what I'll be drinking tonight. And thank you to Tammy and Vic for this one.
Sponsoring.
Yeah, for sponsoring my drink tonight. And probably almost all the drinks I've had in the last 3 weeks to a month.
Oh, Farah says they are a harvest host.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that's awesome. Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, they're on tonight too. Cool.
Yes,
well,
they are right here. It's like, well, if you guys have any questions, I mean, we're gonna keep talking for a little bit, just kind of like we're gonna get into what happened. But if you have any questions, make sure that you put them on capitals. I see that actually Chuck did that, so I can spot them quick. So I can spot the questions and copy them. So if I happen to skip through a question, you can just paste it quick again, and I can read it.
Right.
But let's talk first about what happened. I did not post a picture.
I thought you were going to post a picture from the hospital.
I was, and then it's like they start with the questions and. But let's start from the beginning.
And you want to make sure that you answer the questions so they didn't put me in a different type of hospital, a mental hospital?
Sure, you were answering right, and if not, just to kind of like
so
intervene.
Yeah, they didn't believe that I was the king of the north and that I serve House Winterfell.
We just finished watching Lord, what is it?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Lord of the
So I
Rings.
tried to explain that to him. I also told them that I was Abraham Lincoln, born in 1825, and was former president. They didn't believe that. Yeah.
You weren't just looking to get into a totally different kind of hospital.
Yeah, I was kind of pushing my luck. They were all pretty funny though, so that was nice.
Yeah.
They were all, it was all female nurses and doctors, and they were all very, very nice here in Arcadia.
But let's go back. It's
Okay,
like you keep
go
going
back.
there. It's
All right,
like,
all
let's
right,
go
all right.
back.
So
What happened, Paul?
what happened? I was reaching for Lorena's pancakes this morning, and she stabbed me in the back of the hand
You deserve that.
with a butter knife.
Yes. That's what I did.
That is not what happened. So Vic asked me this morning if I could help him with his awning. They ordered a new awning, and I said, yes, I would be more than happy.
The nice
do
thing
that.
I have to say about being here at the ranch with such nice, helpful people is that we help each other a lot. I think they help us more
They've
than
helped
we
us
help
more.
them.
Yeah, much more.
It's
We owe them a debt we can never repay.
Yeah, it's not equivalent really.
Right.
But today is like Paul was gonna help Vic,
Vic.
with his awning because he ordered new.
Yeah.
It's the actual awning.
Right.
Not
Right.
the structure, but
And instead of going to the internet and looking for directions like we should have, I made an assumption that once his awning was wide open, there would be no tension on it because it was a motorized awning. And boy, was I wrong. When the thing let go, it spun and sliced the back of my hand open. And I was up on a
scaffold.
4 or 5 foot high scaffold, jumped down off the scaffolding. I was bleeding like a stuck pig. It took me a second too. Like I kept trying to hold on to the thing, and then I was looking at this hand trying to hold on to this thing, and then all of a sudden I noticed that all the blood rushing off my hand. So jumped down and immediately started to pass out. So I sat down on the ground for a little while. Yeah. Vic and Tammy wrapped a towel around it, and they wrapped around what's called vet wrap. If you guys don't know what vet wrap is, I don't know if it's called that.
Vic brought some for us.
Is it actually called that? Is that what it says on it?
Vet wrap.
Okay. If you do not have this in your RV, no, show them the paper so they can see the name on it, so that if they want to order it.
You can get this close. Actually on Walgreens and everything. You get the humankind. It's like, but this one is a lot more cheaper. It's the exact same thing, and you can get it on TSC.
Hold it a little closer. Remember, that some of these guys are pretty old. Like Bellafato, he won't be able to see that. So if you do not have this in your RV right now, I highly recommend that you go to the motorhomeexperiment.com/Amazon. You don't have to go there. You can just go to Amazon and pick some vet wrap up.
Okay.
It sticks.
You're doing already a commercial.
I know, but it sticks to itself. And they wrapped a towel around it, and then they just wrap this vet wrap around it 2 or 3 times, and it sticks to itself immediately and holds this really tight wrap around my hand. Like and the hospital actually said...
We didn't know until we got to the hospital. Actually, they said, yeah, when they took this from the vets to the actual humans, that was like
a game changer.
A game changer for them. So it was first invented for vets.
So because they wrapped it so quick, and we had my hand so quickly wrapped up and stuff, it did very little damage.
Thanks to Vic, actually, he took an EMT class and he knew exactly what he was doing. So he just did it. Right.
So got my hand wrapped, and we said, okay, you got to go to the hospital.
This is my version. Up to that point, this is my version of the story. Like, we today pull mattress back, bed out, and everything to paint that back wall where the bedroom is, where the bed is. That's my final thing of painted, thank God, because I cannot paint anymore. It's been a long time. And all of a sudden, like, I hear a knock, and I'm back there. It's like, what's a knock? And then I hear it again, and I'm coming to the front, and Tammy's opening the door, and Tammy's like, hey, Lauren, I just want to let you know Paul cut himself. And I was like, okay, what's new? He's like, he's always cutting himself. He's always like has cuts and bleeds everywhere. Every time he works mechanically or anything. So
you guys know how that works. If you're a mechanic and you work on anything.
So it's like, and I was like, okay, and she's like, she looked at me like I was very calm, and she's like, no, he cut himself. Like, he needs to go to the hospital. I was like, what? He's like, let me grab his insurance card and my purse, and then we go. So I grabbed all my stuff and found his wallet and all these things in this mess that is the house right now. and went out, and Paul is on the ground already with the hand wrapped.
Mm-hmm.
And Tammy just points at the ground, and literally there's this trail of blood coming from the scaffold. And so that was like up until you at that time, and my story at that time when I saw you.
And then I was like, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's wrapped. It feels good. I don't think I need to go to the hospital. And then they all three looked at me like I was a mental patient. And I said, I think I'm good. And they're like, no, you're going to the hospital. And I'm like, all right. We took one last look at it. And then, well, we had wrapped it earlier just in a towel until they went to get the vet wrap. So then when we pulled off and looked at it again, I kind of saw that it was open pretty good. And then that's when we closed it again, put a towel on it, wrapped it again with the vet wrap. And I said, okay, yeah, it looks bad enough. I need to probably go get some stitches. And I got up to go over to the truck where Vic had backed the truck up so that I could get in the truck. And I stood at the back of the truck for just a second. And I said, I think I'm going to pass out. And that's the last thing I remember.
Luckily, Vic was there again, right next to him. So he basically grabbed him, caught him.
And sat me on the ground?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know any of this part of the story.
I kind of like just guided. Like, obviously, I'm not the strong one of the pack, although it's like, when adrenaline is happening, you get strong. But there was no need for it because Vic was there. So he got you, and we just like sat him down. But he just went out for a few minutes. Not too long. It's like it was just for a few minutes.
No, but when I woke up, I thought that I hadn't been out, and then I hear them talking about getting an ambulance.
Well,
and
no,
I'm like,
at that point,
no, I don't need an ambulance.
At that point, Tammy was already.
She was on the phone.
It's like she was already on the phone, and it's when you say, "Yeah, I don't need an ambulance." It's like I'm okay, and
they're like, "You've been out for 3 minutes. What are you talking about?"
Like for a few minutes, it's like you cannot even get in the truck. And he was like, no, I can, I'll be all right. So at that point, he just took a few minutes to come back again. And it's like, he got up and got on the truck. And then it's like, driving to the hospital at that point. And we got to the hospital, obviously had mask and everything. Because right now, the last place you want to be is in a hospital, right?
Yeah, it's not.
And a hospital in Florida.
But I will say, there was nobody in there. It was dead.
Well,
they literally took me right in.
Arcadia is a small town, so if it's really bad, very serious diseases or very serious injuries or stuff like that, they literally take them to Punta Gordas or so, that depending on the kind of thing, right?
Right. They let it. There was a duck with a broken wing, and then a horse with a hoof. We did tell you it was a veterinary hospital, right? So then they put me in front of the animals. What? It's Arcadia. It wasn't a veterinary hospital. Vic says they had a great veterinary hospital. Could have done a good job, though.
The doctor said they could have done the same thing.
Yeah, the doctor said they could have done the same thing. But anyways, I standing at the counter again started to feel a little bit woozy. So they brought the
at that point kind of like
wheelchair
I grabbed him while the nurse came and brought like a chair, and it's kind of like set him down, and it was a whole check-in process at that point. But he was pale. It's like, and they took us literally inside right away.
They were awesome. They were really good. So
and
thanks to the ladies there at
the nurses and
emergency
everything.
room at the hospital.
And at that point, it was just kind of like, at that point is when I got quiet because they start asking him questions, and I also want to know if he will answer right because he was so fainty that I wanted to know how he wants to.
But I passed my test with flying colors. There's so many things I could go into right now about that, but I won't. I don't want to get political. I passed my test with flying colors. I answered my name right, my birthday right, and all that stuff.
Yeah, so somebody says, so glad that you were with friends. Absolutely. It's because they know the drill. They know what to do. It's like Tammy worked at the hospital for a long time. It's like Vic, he has EMT training, so they know exactly what to do.
Yeah, and they've been around horses.
And they animals, know where everything is, right? We're traveling. Sometimes when you're in places, it's like you don't know where the closest hospital is. Of course, it's a Google away probably, but just the fact that they know exactly where to go, and I don't have to worry about it. That
is something I'll say is a good pro tip for people. It's like if you're going to be in an area for a couple of weeks or something like that, or even for a few days, find out where the local hospitals are. Find out where a local emergency room is, just in case, especially you older folks.
Everybody is like, because it's like you never know when you're gonna need it, right? And it's not only the ER, urgent care, and vet hospital, because obviously
for your pets
they also have emergencies too.
Babies.
So it's like it's always good to know. But anyway, he was gonna get some staples in his hand, and they put 2 staples in, and they could not proceed doing that.
Yeah, the doctor said, you have thin skin. I go, I know, I'm not good at taking criticism. I'm sorry. And he goes, no, you have thin skin. Like your skin is tearing right there at your hand.
She says, and he was
do you take steroids? And I go, I understand where you're coming from, Doc, but do I really look like I'm on steroids? No, I don't. So.
Anyway, it's like literally his skin was tearing apart.
She said it was tearing right there. So they had to use the regular sutures, regular sutures. So
they put four
of them. That's it. What a wuss. I thought for sure it was at least a 7 or 8, but yeah.
It's like she said that there was still a lot to lose skin, but she was gonna let it happen. I don't know what was that about.
I don't remember that.
Oh, see, so you were not quite up there.
Of course, ignoring that sort of stuff, but all patched up, ready to go. Until just a little while ago, before I went to took a little nap, my hand was on fire. It's a little bit burning right now, but Lori finally said, you need to take an ibuprofen. And I was like,
Randy's cup says he's following painkillers. It's like they did not give him
none. They didn't give me any.
Nothing strong. It's like it was when I went and pick up his prescription for antibiotics. I asked them what would be good like for his situation, and they said ibuprofen. So earlier his hand was throbbing, and if you know Paul, that maybe you know him as obviously as close, but he hates taking any kind of medication. Medicine. So he was really trying to avoid to take anything until I told him it's just one small pill, ibuprofen, it will help you. And I
finally gave in. It was on fire. Holy smokes, it was on fire. So as you can see, it's nothing's broke. They asked me if I thought it was broke, and I'm like, I'm not a doctor. You're the doctor. I said, I don't think so because I can.
If you want an X-ray.
Yeah, if I wanted an X-ray, and I'm like, do I need an X-ray, doc? Like, I don't know, but I'm like, I don't think it's broke. Like, I can, squeeze the stuff. So the bones around the back of my hand were good. They did a little just poking around test. That feels good. It's just super stiff right now, and other than that, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like Kevin says, take off the bandage. I don't believe this story, so they want you to prove it. Alice like, right? Prove it, LOL. So yeah, the bandage is not gonna come off. I have to say.
I can take it off.
No. Can you put an ice pack on for a few minutes? He has been doing that.
I had an ice pack on all afternoon, and that's when I knew that this wasn't an ice pack. I had a bag of iced frozen peas.
The cliche frozen peas he had
I did that.
Hand the entire time. So
I did that.
He has been
doing that. So that was around what time this morning? 10 or 11?
No.
12? Something like that.
Noon?
I think it was around noonish. Yeah, somewhere around in there.
Something like that.
So a little bit of excitement for the day, and it's definitely going to set us back because I don't have that gripping strength to be able to grip stuff. So for a couple of days, I'm going to be a little bit of a
luckily his left. He still has the right that is his strong one to do other things. We don't even try to go there.
I didn't say anything. You started it.
I can see your look. It's like I didn't even go there.
I just meant like for making coffee, for I don't know, using a shake weight, like just general stuff.
General stuff.
Yeah, just general stuff.
I'm not gonna even follow that at all. I'm just gonna pass it.
Yeah. So today I'm remaking the little the tables that go next to the driver and passenger seats. I'm rebuilding those, and that was going to be my project for today. As soon as I was done helping Vic with his awning. So now Vic's awning, I don't know if he finished the rest of it up today. Now that he's looked at how to do that and do it the right way and put some kind of rod or some kind of screwdriver in there so that thing doesn't spin. Yeah.
But anyway, it's like he said it's like, I went to see the video of the RVGeeks.
The RVGeeks has the exact same video.
Exact same awning.
Yeah.
They had this same awning. It's like, and actually they did it pretty quick and pretty easy. They were like, okay, good to know.
He said in the time that we did the trip to the hospital and back, we could have had the awning replaced. So I'm like, great. So if you don't know if something has tension on it, please make sure that you go to the internet and try to find out if it's got tension on it. My awning's on top of the slide out here. We did that as well, and it doesn't have that much tension on it. I could actually hold it. But
it's already done? I thought it was a box outside.
What's that?
the awning.
No. Well, we took it off to do the slide out. We put it back on because we knew the new piece wasn't going to be in yet. But that didn't have that much tension on it. Holy smokes! When his let go, it had a lot of tension on there, and you don't want that to happen. So instead of it spinning, there's a way to put a screwdriver, I guess, through that into a slot, and that holds it. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are going, of course, dumbass.
So Kevin says, are you all paying for a new awning for them? It's like, well, the new awning didn't got damaged, so
yeah, I didn't bleed on their new awning, and the old one is half done. So
like Lou is like, in all seriousness, was there any damage to the awning? Good, nothing else is broken.
No damage to the awning, although we don't know how many. When Vic was coming back from the hospital, he says, by the way, did you remember how many turns that came unraveled when it hit you? And I'm like, dude, I don't remember. So we're going to have to figure that out.
Chuck says, like, you shake your coffee? He has that thing where he just like swirls, like shakes his coffee.
Yeah, I do the swirl coffee
and
thing.
He always, not always, but
usually spill it.
2 out of 10 he spills it.
Yeah,
always. Like, it's just like, But anyway, so yeah, that has been our day.
That was today, and this is the last.
Tommy says that Vic was determined 13 was the number of turns.
13? Is that right? Yes, probably lucky number 13. Absolutely.
Or unlucky.
But the unlucky,
7 is a lucky.
Right.
13 is unlucky.
Right. So the slide out is fixed. It's repaired. It works great. I wish I had done this when we first got the RV. It was the one thing that used to drive me crazy about the RV. It was the noise it made, popping and cracking every time it went in and out. But I knew that eventually we would get it done. That's done now.
Okay,
and it comes in and out easy.
Kevin Klein asked before you start change topic about the accident. How many times did you scream, Paul?
Oh, I didn't scream. Like I said, I was wanting to not go to the hospital, but just you can't scream when you're passed out.
He really didn't want to go to a hospital. Once he passed out is when we were like, no, he needs to go.
Here's the kicker to all this. One of the reasons I didn't want to go to the hospital is I've not had insurance, hospital insurance, medical insurance for 20 years. And then just within the last year and a half, when we
have it.
We're getting ready to, when we sold the business, we were like, look, we need to have this. We're on the road. So Thursday, 2 days ago, we just switched our domiciles. We went up, got our new driver's license, got our registration. All of that stuff is done.
So we are new Floridians.
We are new Floridians officially. So, woo-woo. So that's an official announcement as well. And so we're official Floridians. We have not switched over our Nevada insurance yet. Health insurance to Florida. So we don't know if it's going to be valid or not.
I tried once and it said there is no plans available. Like, it was just weird because I would think there's plans available, but no, they're like, there's no plans available. Check out later. And today's, I guess, when we changed the numbers, and I was like, okay, let's do it again. But this happened today. And so we submit everything to our Nevada health insurance, but we don't know if they're going to really pay for it because literally 2 days ago we became officially Floridians, and let's see what's going to happen.
So this could be a crazy out-of-pocket expense. If any of you folks are health or medical professionals, and what do you think a little trip to the emergency room with 4 stitches is going to cost us? I'm thinking a couple of grand.
RV Norm Maria says, Paul, are you an accident looking for a place to happen?
Wow. Absolutely. Yeah, I should be a lot more cut up and hammered than this, to be honest with you. With the things that I do, I should be much, much more damaged. What was funny is that the nurse is going through all the questions, and she's saying, do you drink? No. Do you smoke? No. Do you have any allergies? No. Do you blah, blah, blah. She goes through this whole thing. How many surgeries do you have? And I said 0. And she goes through all this stuff, and she goes, let me get this straight. You're 56 years old, and I'm going to have a blank chart. And I'm like, I had a vasectomy once. And she goes, woohoo, we'll put that down. So they wrote that down. That
qualifies.
She goes, that qualifies as surgery. So she goes, there, the chart's not blank. So really, overall, I'm a healthy guy, but I just take a lot of stupid chances. This wasn't a stupid chance. This was a lack of knowledge that come back to bite me in the hand, literally.
Okay. The breeze says, Chuck says, it's an insurance company. You are not covered.
We're not covered. Right. They're gonna find an excuse of yes, you are correct, Chuck. Sorry, I lost my mind for just a moment.
MYK55501 says 4K to 6,500 is their guess.
Ouch. I'm gonna have to go mop some floors or clean some windows or something because that ain't happening.
That's fun. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, right? It's like when it comes.
See, if we had went to a vet, it would have been probably $400 or $500.
Literally, the doctor told us, yeah, they could have done the same thing there. It's like, hey, like, no big. Oh, you got a tetanus shot too.
I did get a tetanus shot, so they're telling me that tomorrow morning I'm not going to like the nurse that gave me the tetanus shot. She said that I am going to be a hurting puppy on the right arm.
It's like a 1 day delay,
right? The
pain itself. So tomorrow.
Yeah, because they asked me when the last time I was at a hospital and had a tetanus shot, and I'm like, I couldn't tell you. So, anyways, it's been an interesting day, interesting couple of months. I will say that the RV is coming along just spectacularly. I know we shared a couple of pictures with friends, but we haven't really put any pictures up yet because Lori wants to do this grand reveal thing.
I don't want to do the grand reveal, but it's like, I mean, you can see the colors right behind us. That looks white,
but it's
not. It looks white. I was gonna say
on camera it looks white.
It looks white. The walls
are white. These are gray. There's no way I was gonna let Lorena paint all the cabinets in the RV white like everybody does. No way.
Yeah.
I would have hated that.
But
plus,
anyway.
I would get them all dirty immediately. So these are a light gray, and the cabinets in the kitchen are a darker gray. And the kitchen, I think right now looks amazing. Lori's not so sure yet.
I'm not sure about the color of the kitchen yet.
I think it looks awesome.
We will explain that once we show it, like with good lighting. Right now, it's not good lighting.
The new flooring is down in the front part of the RV all the way up through. The dog house no longer has the 1970s shag carpet, brown shag on it. It has a gray vinyl wrap on it, as well as
vinyl wrap.
Gray vinyl, and it's wrapped in gray vinyl. The doghouse has gray vinyl on it, and the hole that goes down into the center has gray vinyl on it. That I'm going to rebuild a new center console on that. So I'm going to build that and make that a little bit better.
On the other side, like what keeps the heat, like insulated.
Yeah, Lori always complained that her side was hot, and my side never was. So when we took the doghouse off, they literally put a piece of heat shield on my side about 2 foot long. That's it. But on her side, nothing. So I put heat shield underneath that whole thing. So hopefully that'll make the sound a little bit better and help shed a little bit less heat. I'm a little concerned that now the carpet's off and we just have the wood flooring all the way up, or the vinyl flooring all the way up, that it's going to be noisy up there, but only time will tell. And if we have to put some kind of sound deadener up in there, then we'll work on that. But it doesn't make any sound when we're sitting, so
we'll figure out.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks the front part of it looks good. We just have to get everything put back together. Right now, stuff is piled on top of stuff on top of stuff. So if the camera is moved outside of this little field of view here, this looks somewhat normal. But to the right and to the left of us, I'm telling you, it's chaos. No. Absolute chaos.
And I told Paul, like, I'm literally already ready to be done with this because we have been living a month like this. Month and a half, if you include, like, the slide, taking out the slide and everything. So a month and a half, just, like...
The hardest thing about renovating the RV when you're inside of it, like, if we could have...
Yeah, we're living
If we could have... There's a motel, down the road or something where you could...
There is.
Wow, but it's not 15 miles down the road. It's not like right there. So we would have to drive back and forth to it every day.
What he's trying to say, if you have a place to stay.
Right, and yank everything out of the RV.
It's so much easier because when you're trying to still like cook full meals and breakfast, we don't have lunch, but can like breakfast and dinner.
Right.
And then trying to sleep at night and just move everything out and trying to do laundry. I mean, all these different like house things that you still have to do, living things that you still have to do. And then try to do the renovations. And then we're trying to like jump around stuff because he's working in some stuff. I'm working at something totally different. So we have different projects and we're kind of like crowding each other too.
So that's the hardest. That's the hardest part. If you're going to paint the back, we moved everything to the front. And when we paint the front, we moved everything to the back. And then when you're painting the middle, then you're moving things in and out as far as the dinette table and things like that. We had the captain's chairs are still out and they're able to move around. So we've been moving stuff around as we've needed to paint or work on that specific area. So we only found one spot that had a little bit of water rot, and that was over next to where Lori's chair is. We don't have a clue where it came. We've soaked the outside of the RV trying to find where water is coming in. And trust me, Florida has been testing for leaks. We did fix the one leak that we had up top. It was just one of the seals around the skylight in the bathroom had gotten old. And so I used some Flex Seal for that. I don't recommend doing that. You should just use the self-leveling caulk. But yeah, it's a quick fix, and we didn't have any available where we were, and I needed to get it fixed because water was pouring in there. So I sprayed some Flex Seal around. That stuff is going to be nasty to be able to get off of there. So if you can, once every year or so or two, just go up on the top of the RV, scrape that old caulk off, and then get some new self-leveling sealant and just put it around there, and then you won't have any problems. But we knew there was an issue because water was starting to come in weird spots. The last month sitting out here where we are next to Vic and Tammy's place, it has been pouring down here, and there's zero evidence of water coming in at all. So,
okay.
All right, enough about us.
Michael Briggs says, will this slow down your kite surfing?
I would say that yes and no, because by the time we get
what kite surfing, we haven't been
near the beach.
We literally have not done anything. I was like, we have been just doing this.
Yeah, it's funny. Everybody was not everybody, but people were, you guys are moving around too much during the coronavirus thing, and then we are, and we weren't, and now we're really not. And I'm like,
that's a good thing we are really not, because right now is when the whole thing is spiking right now.
Florida's in flames right now.
I went to pick up his prescription, and I turned on the radio in the car, and it's like, oh, Florida already surpassed New York numbers. I was like, oh, great.
Right. So when you guys saw a video of us, like up in St. Augustine, for example, when we're not wearing our masks, we are outdoors and there's no people around. You saw one clip of video where we walked through a hotel lobby out into the other side, and somebody just lit us up for that because we weren't wearing masks and you were in a building. There was nobody in the building. And here's the thing. Can I rant just a tiny bit?
Oh my God. It's like, I'm just going to let you
just a tiny bit.
I'm going to time it. You have...
Let's time it. No. I'm just...
How long?
30 seconds. That's all I need. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Just
I will wear a mask when there's people around. You cannot get a virus from somebody that's not there. Period. So if you're out on a beach outside and there's people around, but you're not within really close, outdoors is very, very unlikely, if you're not around a bunch of people, that you're going to get the virus. If you're at a friggin' pool party, you're a dumbass and you're likely going to get it. If you're in a restaurant inside with a bunch of people, likely going to get it. Church, all that kind of stuff. If you are outdoors, you're fine as long as you're not congregating in groups.
Okay,
that's it.
NYK says front windshields is known to leak on Fleetwoods at RVs. So
yeah, ours
might have been like what they're saying is that the leak we were looking for.
Oh yeah.
From the front windshield.
We will find out pretty quick. It's a little bit too far back for that, but it could have been a side window. But we soaked it all. Like we had the wall completely apart, like the outer skin on the inside pulled back, and we soaked the windows over there and got nothing coming in at all. So it could be the very front window. And water is weird. Water can take a lot of different ways to get down
Kevin
and into
Klein,
a spot.
When are the videos coming out?
Obviously, I haven't been
renovation. I'm so
I haven't been editing at all because we've been doing this, and so I really haven't been editing, and we haven't been filming a whole lot. So I've got a bunch of stuff that's ready to go. There's still a lot of
stuff that is on the back burner that he could get out. So don't let him fool you. He can do those videos.
All right. So you get no more help with the RV, and I'm just going to edit.
Just your stuff.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. You heard her.
Well, you cannot help anyway.
I can't help, but I can still type, sort of.
Is that type or playing the piano?
Yes. I can't play the piano, so this is typing.
Kevin said it was the remodel videos for the remodel.
Yeah, the remodel will come out after we're done. We're not doing any little like we're not doing how-tos on how to remodel, because it's literally
I'm
like
snippets of actually things that I'm using or things that I'm doing. I am doing snippets. It's like Paul is like not so much.
well, yeah, I'm like, you want to paint a wall, you take the stuff away from the wall and you pick a color and you paint it, and you tape off the areas that you don't want to paint.
Like there's something I didn't know until I knew about like the product, the primer, the kind of primer I need to use specific for RVs. Otherwise, the paint will come off.
Well, it's not specific for RVs, specific to...
No. But my point is like stuff like that. People, like if they want to do themselves, maybe they will appreciate the tip.
Oh, well, we can do that while we're talking about...
That's what I have been doing.
While we're talking about the renovation after, we can say we did this by putting gripper over top and stuff like that. But I mean, we don't need to show people how to paint. We don't need to show someone how to take a cabinet off the hinges. Like, it's just unscrew the hinges and pull the door.
Nancy McIntyre says, will you be coming up the East Coast this year? No. I mean, the whole goal was to...
We're supposed to be in Colorado right now.
It's like the whole goal was to go there, but then it's like within the domicile that put us kind of like behind a lot, because we have to wait for tiles and that.
And we had to wait for the places to start opening again. The title place, the Clay County, all of the DMV and all that kind of stuff was all closed until
the tax collector. Here's tax collector. So it's like all that stuff we have to wait to open. Finally, when it opened, we went, and then we didn't have the right documentation. It was our fault for not asking. It was not their fault.
We will have a video on that as well, on Florida residency, which is basically every place residency.
So that put us behind, and then there is when the slide happened, and luckily we have good friends here that they're like, we asked them if we could come back, and they're like, yeah, sure, no problem, come back, and we were able to do that. And then it's when, oh my God, it's like the floor needs to be ripped off. I mean, it needs to come out. So it's like, if we're gonna change it, let's change the color. And one thing just led to another, and it became out of control.
Yeah, the only reason we came back to Arcadia was to fix this slide. That's it. Like, we just wanted to fix the bottom of the slide and be done. But once we had the slide out, it was like, we can change the floor easier. We can paint this easier. We can fix this. And then once we started pulling the floor up is when we started finding pockets of like, oh man, I should fix that while we've got this out. Oh man, we should just, while we've got all the floors out, what a great time to paint, because we don't have to put down any drop cloths or anything like that. So so we're like, oh, that's a great time to paint, right, when all the floors are out. So yeah.
MK says, why do you go to Clay County? It's the worst county to do the change. It's actually the best county to do the change, because they
knew everything. They knew everything there was to know about it.
They are so used to mobile people. They kind of like specialize on full-time RVers or full-time boaters. So they know. They literally ask you when you arrive there. It's like, we just moved to Clay County here. And they ask us, are you a resident here? Are you a RVer? You're a boater. And we're like, we're a full-time RVer. Okay, so this is the paperwork. They know the drill to a T. It's not the norm thing. I have to say, it's not like if you will go to here, Arcadia, and try to let them know what's about. Like, it's not like a normal. To say our address, like
our address is our license plate on our RV. Like that's our
literally
address
in our
on a driver's
Florida driver's license. That's what it is. So that's why we're saying, like, to be able to vote as well.
We didn't pick Clay County because we thought it was a beautiful place to lay down roots.
It was just like they know the ins and outs of how to do everything.
They know the ins and outs of boating and transient and RV transient living, and it's super cheap. Now, if you guys are in Florida, you know that there's that initial plate charge of like $250 or something like that. But then after that, our car last year was $265 or $275 to renew in Nevada. It'll be $60 or $65 next year in Florida, in Clay County. And the RV, which was $200 and something last year, will be $80 next year in Clay County. It's super cheap. Like that in Vegas, our renewal of our car and RV every single year was $500 to $600. And there it's going to be $150.
No, so $600 to $700 in Las Vegas.
$600 or $700. So
here it's gonna like $150.
Yeah. So we didn't pick the county based on a place to live. They have the St. Brennan's Isle mail services there, and all of the little businesses that are in that little county and in Green Cove Springs specifically, they know RVers. When we walked into the voting registration place, we said, hey, we're just new to Clay County and we're RVers. Oh, no problem. Here you go. Because you're an RVer, you have to have an address. Here's the address that you need to use.
And they sign you up for absentee ballot and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it
was super easy. The paperwork, just a brief thing. The paperwork that we didn't have is we have a note on our RV and on our car. We don't own these outright. We didn't know that we had to have that title or a copy of the title in hand. So when we walked in the first time, they asked for the title and we're like, well, we don't have the title. The bank has it. And so it took 2 to 3 weeks for them to send a letter.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. They faxed letters to both of our
the lien holders
because they're different for the car and for the RV. They faxed paperwork to them and we had it back in 2 weeks. They said 3 weeks to 4 weeks, but it was back in 2 weeks. But at that time we were already in full renovation mode and couldn't get back there. So it's been 2 or 3 weeks since.
Yeah, they have been holding our paperwork over there. So finally we needed that break from this and we're like, let's drive there. We literally drove like it was 5 hours there, 5 hours back.
When we went in between registering the car and the RV and getting our driver's license was no more than 2 hours. In Las Vegas, that would have been an all-day event.
Just a waiting time. It will have been an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Just to go to the information line.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous over there. Like if you're in Las Vegas, you need to make an appointment and then it takes you like 40 minutes. But if you have no appointment, it's just ridiculous. So here, it was just so fast.
We go to the information booth and the lady says, oh, you're A272. Here you go. We'll be calling you in a second. And we walked over as we were walking over to sit down in the chairs, they go A272, window 8. And we just turned around, went in. And then the second time for driver's license, you got to go to a different booth. Same thing happened. It was just so quick. So yeah, our choice of Clay County wasn't because we thought it was an amazing county. It was they know
what they're doing. They know
full-time RV, full-time boating.
Yeah. Brenda Costa says, who's going to do the driving? It's like, well, him. By the time we leave, that should be
this will be fine
better.
In a couple of days.
And
now back to the kiteboarding. I actually had a problem with my kite that I found out. Never leave your kite in your car when it's super hot out, and it
melts the
glue. And so I had a valve that was all excited, went down to the beach, was going to fly while I was in Flagler, and one of the valves was leaking. So I got a new valve, changed that out. It's now fixed, but I haven't put the strut. I haven't put it back into the kite and pumped it up yet. But yeah, this is probably going to take, I would think, a week or more. Well, I need to make sure that I don't have stitches in it before I start kiting again. So it'll be a couple of weeks.
Once you go into the salt water.
The salt water once the stitches are out, though, it shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, that part of it, it's gonna set the kiteboarding back a couple of weeks. But we can't do it right now, anyways, because we're still in the middle of this reno. By the time we're done with this, I'll be ready to go. And the plan from here is to go to Tarpon Springs, Florida, where it's a kiteboarding mecca, and try to get in a little bit of kiteboarding before leaving.
Already, because what is happening, and also we give up totally the idea of doing Disney. At this point, we're like, we're not going to do it. And so we're going to go and head towards so he can do some kiteboarding on the beach and all that stuff, and then start heading west at that point. And we're going to stay on the south end because we don't want to get into Tornado Alley in the middle of the season. So we're going to stay on the south end and just head west at that point. So that goes with Kevin Klein. So it's like, so how long do you think you'll be in Florida? It's like, we still don't know. I mean, we're going to take it obviously day by day. It's like,
we'll be out here by September.
Depending how fast we finish this. But it's like, let's see.
We honestly, a few days ago, thought we'll be out of here by August 1st.
Seriously, we thought it's like, it's such a small space. We're going to finish quick. It's like, just like paint here, paint there, and be done. And it's like, but it's not the painting. Well, it is the painting a lot, but it's also like, you have to take everything out. There's many corners. You have to take doors out. I mean, it's like,
we're replacing all of the trim around the baseboards and all that stuff. It's all getting
all the steps got changed too. It's like, it has been, literally, we changed everything. So Jose says, hey, Lorena, you know that we from Florida are not wanted anywhere. LOL, just saying. It's like, I know, because
I know.
the high numbers, so that's going to be interesting. Once we start traveling, of course, we're going to be extremely careful while traveling and trying to not to make contact with anybody, but most likely we're going to get asked at some point where we're coming from.
The reason it went crazy down here is when they quote unquote reopened or started reopening the state a little, people went nuts. People went back into groups, like churches were opening immediately. People were in the beach in pretty big numbers. We went down and we walked on Daytona Beach, and there was a lot of people, really a lot of people on Daytona Beach in big groups down there. We've noticed that bars here are packed when we go by them. And we've been out. We'll go out and eat. But we
have been a lot to Home Depot.
A lot to Home Depot. But when we're in Home Depot, if it's super busy, then I'll wear a mask. If it's not super busy, I don't. Again, there's some reasoning behind that.
I was going to say, it's like, this is a mixed household. I know there's mixed household there because it's like, I wear it, period. It's like, whether it's crowded or not. It's like, I heard a comedian, I can't remember her name, but she says, come on, women, we wear uncomfortable stuff. We wear bras, we wear high heels, we wear all this stuff, but you're not okay with a mask? And I was like, oh my God.
I'm okay with a mask when it's necessary. There's it's the fear factor that they've put out there. Trust me, I won't get into it. I've read so much on virus right now that I'm telling you that a mask does not do you any good, even if you're asymptomatic.
This guy,
if you're outdoors,
it's obsessed. But anyway,
I'm obsessed with learning about how it works because I don't like being told this is the way it is when it's not, and that happens so much. There's so much garbage information that's told.
Don't rant. Just stop it. Just stop it. See, you're looking at me because you know you're gonna do it. So it's like.
But we have gone out to dinner a few times or lunch a few times, as long as we're outside on a patio.
Always outdoors in a patio
always.
Next to the water where you have the breeze.
Where they have a breeze.
Here in Florida, the restaurants have to be.
They've got them all. The tables are spaced.
So they have 50% of the tables. So they all super spread or closed tables. So we make
sure.
But
if you're indoors.
Well, that has not been the norm. We have gone like twice, 3 times out.
Right. No, I'm not saying we're going out all the time, but we have been out. But indoors, if you're eating indoors in a packed restaurant, you're asking for it. You're setting yourself up for it. It's crazy. Even going to Disney right now, it's like, it'd be great that there's no lines, but not really. I'm not willing to risk that. Just not.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, but we still like having takeouts and stuff like that. Supporting local business. Today, I was not feeling like cooking after dealing with this and dealing with the renovation and all that stuff. And I went to a Chinese food place and just placed my order online and then just waited and pick it up. And when the person came out to give it to me, it's like she was so grateful. It's like she was so grateful that I actually ordered food from them and put extra things there too for me. So it's just nice to also support your local businesses as well.
Right. And again, if a mask is required in a building, just wear it. If it's necessary, wear it. When I go into Hobby Lobby, did I not wear a mask? When I go into
you said the Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, I know. I went into Hobby Lobby. I'm a man and I went into Hobby Lobby.
Sorry, Kevin.
We needed stuff. And we also went to Joann's Fabrics. I wear a mask in there because I know a lot of people in there are going to be super uncomfortable with it.
Yes, and I mean right now it's being required everywhere. Like Walmart is required, Walgreens is required, Target is required. It's like so you cannot go pretty much anywhere where it's not required. A lot of the cities now are required. Punta Gorda is required. Fort Myers is required. So you go to a lot of them that is like we wear them anywhere.
We wear them.
So.
We wear them where they're required, and I'll wear it where it's necessary. I'm just not going to wear it just outside for no reason.
Yeah, Lori Love's gotta buy local. They're taking a huge hit. Exactly. It's like
we went to a we've done 2 so far now. We've done 2 of the what do you call them? The escape rooms. And we went to the first escape room that we went to was in Port Charlotte. That owner in there really thanked us for supporting him and how he appreciated that we would come out and go to his business. He said that without people that were brave enough to come out and without people that that came in to support his, he's done. He's like, I would be done if not for that and for the government support that he got.
And also he said that he has received hate email saying, I hope your business goes down. And it's like, it's just so sad to hear that that people get to that point.
A lady actually emailed him and said, I hope that your livelihood is destroyed by this.
It was so sad. Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of stuff that we need to just stop with. We need to stop with, people shouldn't be shamed for wearing masks. People shouldn't be shamed for not wearing masks. If you see someone who's not wearing a mask and you're wearing one and you're freaked out, just don't go near them. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, don't go near that person. If they're asymptomatic, they're not going to be breathing out enough virus to hurt you with a mask. So just avoid them. If they make you uncomfortable, just avoid them. You can't run up to people like people are doing and yelling at them and saying stupid shit. That just doesn't make anybody better.
See, here you're starting to start
controversy. I'm sure that it's everybody's going to be on opposite sides of various things, and that's okay. But that's my opinion, and I'm allowed to have my opinion. If you don't want to hang out with us, don't hang out with us. Like, it's that simple.
Well, but here's the thing: is like we were listening the other day that any topic, doesn't matter what topic, you can see I like the trees, and there's gonna be like a big discussion about it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be that way, not that way.
You like trees, must be an environmental, so you must be left, and you must be a climate change person. And it's like,
why you have to make it political?
Why you have to make it political? And you just said, I like trees. So
yeah,
like everything right now, everybody's so touchy about every little thing. So, argue away if it makes you feel better about yourself. It's just my opinion.
Anyway, it's like, so the point of this is saying we're being careful, but we're still doing stuff, and not as much because of the renovation.
Yeah.
But it's like we're gonna start traveling at some point. We're gonna be super careful about it, but we also are not gonna be just crazy about it.
Right.
So it's like,
we're not. If Van Halen said we're playing a free concert tomorrow, or let's say Sammy Hagar
plays, you crazy tree hugger.
Yeah,
he's
crazy
actually
tree hugger.
A tree hugger.
Exactly.
Right here.
If Sammy Hagar, for example, said I'm doing a free concert in Arcadia tomorrow, and everybody that comes down is going to be free, I'd go, not going. Like, I'm not going to put myself in, or anybody else in harm's way, either if I have it or if somebody else has it. I'm not going to put someone in harm's way. But there's also a point of ridiculousness where if you're out in the middle of nowhere, it's not out in public doesn't mean outdoors to wear a mask. So if you're uncomfortable, wear your mask 24/7. It's up to you. But
if you need to, right?
And if you need to, if you're susceptible to this kind of stuff, I know.
Yeah, just.
But anyways,
he has been, seriously, not joking, like obsessed on this topic.
Obsessed with learning about virus.
Few months, and he has been reading so many medical journals around not only country but around the world, following countries' numbers and everything. That is driving me.
It's driving her crazy.
Driving me crazy because it's the only thing he wants to talk about, and it's like, I have a renovation to do, so I'm just gonna put my headphones and listen to the Big Bang Theory while I actually paint. So it's like, good luck on your projects today. So that's like,
pretty much.
That's how we stay sane.
Pretty much.
That's how we stay sane. Somebody was asking about Ozzy. Yeah, last time is when Ozzy was out in the dark. Remember the last live?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I forgot about it.
We found him.
And I would say we found him is kind of like we went and screamed and went with the wet food and opened the can. Your dogs or cats, when they hear the little clank of the food, it's like they go crazy. Well, we went out and he would not come. We're like, oh my God, where is he? Or he's being skittish and not just coming out because he's not a loud cat. He doesn't just meow for the sake of meow. So that's the problem with him in those circumstances. So we went out into the pasture, into the grounds, and Vic was flashing the light, and so suddenly he says, he's right there. He's like, where? We have a hard time spotting him. You can see his
just as little beady
bright
eyeballs.
Little eyes. And he was literally right there just standing waiting. And it's like, dude, what are you doing there? So we start calling him, and then he started running until he came to me, and I picked him up at that point and brought him back home.
He was freaked out.
It's like he was freaked out that day, and after that, he would not leave the house for a few days. But now he's just so antsy to go out again. It's just crazy. It's like he's just trying to find, when he was doing the doghouse, the center here, he was just trying to see how to just go out that way. So, and we have not let him out because we did another time and he did the same thing. He just went out to the pasture And then at that point he started meowing, right? It's like he was freaked out because he was all like lost, and I brought him back to the RV, but at least he meowed, so I knew. And I was like, dude, you're not going out here if it's not under my supervision. And because I have been busy here, it's like he has not gone out. It's like, but he's gonna go out soon because we need to do some paint that the paint smells. So I'm gonna have to. We need to vent the RV. I'm gonna need to take him out under supervision though. So yeah. Anyway, so that's about Aussie, because I know last time you guys were worried about.
Are we still in Florida? Yes, we're still in Florida.
Yeah. Paul and my wife can talk with each other about COVID-19. Lorena, you and I can have no more conversations. I know, Yoko and David. It's like, see, I think there's always one person in a relationship that obsesses about topics more than the other one. It's like,
Well, again, it's just, I get sent, and you guys, everybody's sending me all this politics stuff now, like trying to convince me that I need to vote one way or another, which is hilarious. But, I'm not trying to convince anybody. I will read something. Somebody will send me something, and I'm like, this person sounds a little crazy. So I go off on and do some research and go, oh no, that was some good information, or this is some bad information. There's been a lot of stuff that has come over. I will tell you guys, if you're getting the Facebook message, what's the one I received the other day, that Oklahoma is going to put on metal bracelets on people with coronavirus. And they said, check this out. This is going to happen all over the country. It's a video from 2009. They're not talking about the coronavirus, and it's some crazy ass group from I don't know where. But it's like, that's the kind of stuff that gets spread on the internet. So
that's one of the
rather than just spread that, I want to.
It's misinformation.
I hate the misinformation.
And what people
around.
don't understand sometimes, the internet is just made by people, information from people, but it's like their opinions.
Yeah, it's just somebody's opinions. If somebody sends you something, you should never just believe it.
What is the website you go to find?
Snopes.com.
Yeah. He told me about it. I didn't even know about it.
So yeah, Snopes, Snopes.com. If somebody sends you something, especially politics or things like that, you can just go there and it'll immediately say, this is true, this is false. They have a team that researches all that stuff. So Snopes is awesome. But lately, my go-to has been...
And if it's false, it will tell you, like, this article, this video, this something is from this time, it's from this year, or shit over here. So I thought that was kind of cool.
So my go-to lately has been the New England Journal of Medicine. I mean, I've been reading that website incessantly over the last few months. And I go there for all of this stuff, and it's great for any of this. And not just virus, I've been learning about all kinds of other stuff. I should have learned on how to stitch my hand. How to sew your own hand.
I should learn that. So I could do
yes,
that.
You should do that. You should learn how to put stitches in.
See, I need to learn how to put stitches in, how to cut your hair, all these things. What you're learning for me?
We have like leather back there, so you could have just put some leather on a needle and just sewn this with some leather. Like my skin.
RV wondering, this gotta be Tom. He's like, Baja. About Baja. What? Actually, talking about it. Let's switch topics, gears a little bit. And by the way,
something fun.
It told me I am a helicopter mom with Ozzy. And I have to be, because he's some reason.
Ed and Randy are here tonight?
Yeah, for some reason Ozzy's going to our old spot. We're not parking the same spot we were last time. So he keeps going to the old spot, and somehow he doesn't know how to come back. So I need to be helicopter mom right now. But talking about Baja, we are August. August is the time that we're gonna start releasing the videos and lives about Baja, like the serious ones. Like, this is what you're getting into. This is what it's gonna be about. This is what's going to be included. This is going to be the cost. I mean, all the ins and outs. Mm-hmm. August is where we're going to start, like doing all those videos and give us like over half a year, 6 to 8 months to get ready for it. But August is when we're going to start like already seeing like who is serious, who signs up for it, and start releasing some information as well. So August is going to be the month that we start now with the caravan.
Yeah, so we're going to do some specific lives for that. So we'll put out some information about that.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be lives like super chatty like this. Well, we're gonna talk obviously, but it's gonna be more like presentational.
Question and answer.
Yeah, and question and answer and presentational live. Kind of like, okay, so you can see pictures. See, is this something you would like to go or not? Because it's not only the pretty, it's the ugly. Right. I mean, it's not everything pretty, right? So it's like it's talking about both sides and showing also in that. So that's gonna be coming up soon. Hopefully, no, not hopefully.
Kind of set expectations.
By then, we should be done with this renovation.
By then, we hope to be done.
Focus on that.
Right. And so we want to give some expectations and things like that so that people know what we're talking about. And this is the whole COVID thing is going to set.
That's the other thing is I know a lot of people would love to go, but they're hesitant about going because of what's happening and all that kind of stuff. So that's another topic to talk about.
Right.
We're going to also do a live about that and how we'll tackle that.
If they let us cross the border, we're going.
Yeah, I mean, it's like because once you are in certain areas, you're locked down in those areas and nobody's coming in with the virus and anything and everybody's staying safe. So, but anyway, it's not going to be for everybody. Some people... And I know mostly, I would say in that case will be mostly Canadians because if you're American, you're still in the Mexico, but you need to come back to the U.S., you can do it like pretty quick. But Canadians crossing through the U.S. to get to Canada, I'm not sure if that's possible or doable. So I think Canadians are our most, the ones that are thinking most about if they should go or not go. We know a few that are going for sure. Mm-hmm. We know a few that is like, they said it's like, whatever happens,
we're in regardless. Yeah, we've got several that said we're in regardless.
So, but anyway, so that is the deal with Baja. We're gonna do the series lives and all information out. It's starting in August, probably mid to end August. Yeah.
We're gonna have spots for 18 coaches. Right now, we have probably less than 10 that have really kind of fully committed, I think. So that we know
like
of.
I just saw like Farah saying that they are renovating the RV for the caravan.
Cool. So if you're interested in that, you definitely want to go to adventurenationcaravans.com and just sign up on one of the, if you just scroll down the page a little bit, a pop-up will come and you can put your email address in there if you want more information. And the reason we're only going to do 18 coaches is that's 18 plus Kevin and Laura and us, so that's 20 total.
Kevin says he already bought his ticket. Don't believe Kevin. There's no tickets out yet.
See, there we're talking about misinformation. He's Captain Misinformation. He's probably already selling tickets too.
Yeah, he's like, go to this website.
What website are we going to, Kev?
Jose Sosa says, I think all borders are closed right now. Paul kept telling me that. Paul kept telling me, it's like, the border's still closed. We cannot even go there right now. It's like, he kept telling me all this, right? And I'm talking to my mom. He's like, hey, Mom. It's like, she lives in a border city in the Mexico side. So she knows, like, what's happening at the border, right? She cannot come to the U.S. at all, not for shopping, not for nothing. But it's like, nobody can go into Mexico as well, right? It's closed. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, because it says it, it's like, one thing is what it says, one thing is what it is.
Right.
It's like they're not,
misinformation.
It's like they're not stopping anybody. Everybody's coming into Mexico as they please.
If you're American, they allow you to go in and come and go if you want. If you're Mexican, you cannot come and go.
You can go into Mexico, but you cannot come back.
You can't come
to
back.
The U.S. See,
right.
Because that's what this is what happens on border cities a lot. Like my family, they have visas and they will cross the border to go shopping, to go Bed Bath & Beyond or to go to whatever, Costco or whatever, and then go back home. Right now, because it's closed, they cannot go. Only citizens, obviously, and stuff like that can cross the border. But into Mexico, although it says it's closed, they're not stopping anybody.
She goes, they're not stopping.
Yeah.
So who knows? Somebody said to me the other day, if this goes away, then we'll go. And I'm like, that's another fallacy too. It's not going away. So it's something that's going to be around with us for a while. So it's just a matter of do we want to go or not? Are we able to go?
Kevin Miller. Oh shit, only 18. I saw 30.
Dude, can you imagine 30 coaches?
I think we're putting a limit to the first caravan to see, okay, this is what we know we can handle. That we can, and we still have fun, and we still can do all the things we want to do because we want to take some people in places that are gorgeous that probably in a very huge caravan we could not do.
Right.
So I think we are doing it in a number that is going to keep the group fairly small, but also a good trip. And it's like the first caravan, right? There's gonna be a few. It's gonna be a few boo-boos because it's our first caravan. But it's like I hope that a lot of our friends are gonna be there. Or going there, or understanding, fun people, and it's just gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be just keep your expectations down here, and hopefully we have a bunch of fun up here.
Well, I would say that is in general Mexico. Because Mexico, as much as it has gorgeous beaches and a cool vibe, people are amazing. People are so
People are
good
friendly.
and friendly and giving and everything. But the looks sometimes are not the best.
There's shacks. There's shacks that are barely finished.
Sometimes you have to have your expectations lower, and then
the
when
roads,
you get there,
there's no such thing as a street sweeper down there. Like a street sweeper down there is literally somebody with a broom sweeping the street. They don't have this vehicle that goes down the streets and cleans the streets. They don't have it.
If I'm honest with you, I don't understand that, because even in Mexico City,
they have enough money to do it.
I took Paul to Mexico City. That's where I'm from, and my family is, to introduce him to my family and everything. And also, Paul sees all the guys sweeping
with a broom put together with
the streets.
Yeah.
And Paul is like, you guys don't have like just like the car street sweepers? And I was like, you know what? I guess they're trying to create jobs, because I don't know why they will have that, because the government is like, they don't have the money, but I don't know why they don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we should donate a street sweeper to Cabo or something like that when we're down there. Present it to the city.
I don't think you could take that sand. It's a lot of sand.
It's a lot of sand. Yeah, they'd have to empty it every couple of feet, but maybe that's the problem. But yeah, it is not like going to Charleston, South Carolina, where it's all pretty and old and historic and stuff like that. Historic there can mean pretty seedy. And that's just the way it is. But there's also some stuff there that is so amazingly beautiful, and it's the beaches, and a lot of it's the people and the colors and the celebration and stuff like that. It makes it really, really well worth it. And one of the reasons why we went up staying longer because we just fell in love. Like, you're going, oh, this isn't the US, but it's still really, really cool. And we've had people tell us they're never going to leave the US to go there. And it's like, okay, then
that's fine.
Don't sign up for the caravan, because it's not for you.
Mexico is not for everybody. Canada is not for everybody. Alaska is not for everybody. Europe is not for everybody. I mean, there's some.
I'm sure Kevin and Laura will tell you that Bangkok and the areas of Thailand around there were absolutely stunning and beautiful.
Well, Bangkok was their least favorite, by the way.
Well, but I'm just saying. But there's other people that would go, what they see, they only see the bad stuff, so they go, I would never go there. But to me, it looks beautiful. Like the temples and all that kind of stuff looks insanely beautiful. So you focus on the beauty, you're everywhere you go. If you focus on the beauty, you're going to find the beauty. If you focus on the garbage, you're going to find garbage, no matter where you go. Same thing with your friends.
Well said, Paul. That's positive thinking right there.
Exactly.
You see the beauty in everything.
You see the beauty in everything. That's the only reason Lori's with me. She sees the beauty in me. I don't know.
Aww. Dan and Ellen says, wish we could go. Don't wish it, go. It's like, I cannot read. We have a lot of friends, by the way, right now in Baja that are making already their casitas and everything.
Yeah, like, we do have some
people that they went just for vacation, and now they're building casitas over there. So
yeah. Chuck, you're still in October, November, right? If we go down then?
Well, he has been in Mexico many times. The one I'm curious is Cheryl and Mark. Are they going?
I don't know. They're in Michigan right now.
Everybody's in Michigan right now. What's up with that?
Well, because it's outdoors and it's...
I have MoFo right now. Everybody's there. It's like, well, I'm missing out there. It's like...
FOMO.
MoFo
is like a whole different thing.
Oh, sorry. FOMO. Dyslexia.
Hey, mofo.
FOMO.
Yeah, a whole different thing, Lori.
I even, like, when I said fear of missing out, I was like, oh, yeah, it was the opposite. But anyway, Bernard said it'd be a miracle if I could go.
Cheryl, they're on tonight. They said we're coming.
Okay, set on stone.
Cool.
Doreen D and Ned, not sure. She's laughing. Oh, she's laughing. It's like, I thought she was crying. But I think that's
she's laughing. She's laughing at your FOMO, mofo.
And I have not even drinking that much.
Yeah, no.
I just have a few sips.
But it will be. Here. Kevin Klein says they're heading to Michigan in 2 weeks. Awesome. The Upper Peninsula, where Cheryl and Mark are right now, the UP is stunningly gorgeous. I've only been when I was a young kid who kind of just drove through. I remember driving through with my folks, but it's a stunning part of the country. When?
In the summer.
In the summer. Yeah, you don't want to go there in the winter. It's brutal.
I have never been there. I have been to
Brutal.
Michigan, but just kind of like crossing back from Canada and flying out, or just driving through quick, and that's it. But never discovering Michigan. But I understand that it's beautiful. Yes, we talk about like we need to take some time, like to go north on this side of the country more.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, this year was not the year. Eventually, we'll get it eventually.
Yeah, we just Colorado is not liking us. We tried to get there last year and couldn't because of Lori's citizenship stuff. We tried to get there this year, and coronavirus had a different thing for us.
And our slide.
Yeah, and then our slide. So, yeah, pretty crazy.
Eventually,
But
there's
eventually we'll get
so
there.
much stuff to explore. Anyway, it's like that. I have to say, lately, it's like for some reason we have been watching a lot of Hawaii videos, and we have some friends that they just moved to Hawaii, and we're like, oh my god. I don't know if you guys know. Maybe a lot of people don't know this, but when we first went on the road, when Paul convinced me to go on the road, there was one deal that we made. It was that I will give him 1 year in the RV. That's something I will never do. If he will give me 1 year in Hawaii, that's something that he will never do. So that pack's still there. Like, obviously, it was not a year. We have been already, what, three and a half years?
Yeah.
RVing is one of those things. Once you start, it's hard to stop. It's like, but he still owes me my time in Hawaii. So we have been talking about, like, when is that going to happen? It's like, we still don't know. I mean, it's not like, I'm not saying, like, oh my God, we're going to go and move there in January. I'm just saying it's like, we started talking around when is that going to happen.
I've been watching a lot of videos on Hawaii, and yeah, island fever is a thing where people get on the island and then they think it's beautiful, and then within a few years they're like, I got to get off this rock. I think that would be me within a few months. But I'm not opposed to going and living there for a little bit. But it is out of the way. Holy smokes, it's far away from everything. Amazon Prime isn't a thing, and we've become spoiled with Amazon Prime.
There is Amazon Prime, but it's not your 2-day. It's your 1 week.
Yeah, 2 day will cost you $100.
It's like a 1 week Amazon Prime.
But yeah, that's still out in the open as well. But yeah, I saw somebody say Michigan is beautiful. It's absolutely stunning in the summer.
Yeah, Larry Buchanan says they're in for Baja. See, those are actually from Ontario, so that's what I'm talking. Yeah. Some people from Canada, they're in for sure. So that's amazing.
George, how are you feeling, by the way, my friend?
Yeah, there's a few conversations here.
Yeah, there's some conversations going on in there, I see. And George had some bad news about his cancer coming back and stuff. So we're sad to hear that. And he may have to give up RVing, which really kind of sucks, dude. So hopefully you're okay and working that out.
I'm not sure we're going to go through
Dawn Klein.
Dallas.
Dawn Klein is now in the house. She was on the phone. Now she's here. Hey, Dawn, are you guys up in, where are you guys? I know they're on their way to Michigan.
Well,
you know where they are?
South Dakota, so they were in that general area.
But they're probably in, that place with their buddies in Canada.
Banff?
Yeah, they're probably in Banff right now. They just don't want to tell us.
It says they're just wrapping their Banff overview.
David Carter says she remembers when the motorhome started and you barely said a word. It's nice to see how things change. No, it isn't, dude. Now she just never shuts up. I can't get her to stop talking. No, it's awesome. She always talked off camera. Like anybody who knows us, friends that have hung out with us, she's always very talkative off camera. She just, when I put the camera in her face and say, talk.
One of these days, guys, put your phone, just grab your phone, put it in front and start video recording, not picture, video recording, and come up with stuff.
Just, off the top of your head.
Yeah, off the top of your head. And just talk for 5 to 10 minutes. Let's see how you do. It's not easy.
And a lot of it is like she's reacting to stuff I say. I know what I'm about to say, kind of, sort of, not really. But then she's just kind of ad-libbing as she goes along with what I'm saying. So yeah, she does an amazing job of that, I think.
Chris and Brenda Mills are here.
Hey, Chris and Brenda.
Guys. We're originally from Michigan. The summers are gorgeous up in the north regions. I know. That's why being here in the south is like, if you can see, I'm shiny. It's because it's just humid and warm in here. And we have been summer here in Florida. And on top of the last thing we have done is gone to the beach. Like we have not been on the beach, and it's like that's one thing that we are like definitely planning to do. Definitely before Labor Day.
As soon as we get out of renovation mode, we'll go to the beach.
And don't worry, we put like a 10 feet perimeter around us.
MYK says wife beatings cost about $20,000 in the hospital bill if you beat me up.
Okay.
Aid says, I tried to record my holiday last week. It felt so wrong. It's really, and especially if other people are around, like walk through a busy area and pull your camera out and start recording. And the bigger the camera, the worse it is. Like you can kind of get away with a cell phone. People don't really pay attention. But when I have the big camera out and you're trying to walk through a place, like people, that's one of the reasons I don't record with that much anymore, because I stopped using it because everybody's staring at you and you're trying to focus on the camera and
what you're saying
and it makes it tough because everybody's looking at you. So that part of it is really, really tough. But I'll tell you what, it will really improve your communication skills. I know it hasn't improved mine, but it will improve your communication skills if you're able to do that, because it's kind of an interesting concept that you're trying to record something while other people are kind of looking at you and judging you and all that stuff.
Kevin Klein says no passport, so they're not going to Banff.
Oh, yeah. You guys can't go to Banff without a passport.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one thing. If you guys are thinking about going to Baja right now and you do not have a passport, you got to have it. So make sure that's something that if you don't have it, that you're working on it. Most of you Canadians probably have it if you're down here, because I don't think you can cross down here anymore without it. But yeah, for those of you who are like, oh yeah, I'm in, don't wait till the last second to get a passport. And that's part of the things that we'll be talking about starting in August. It's actually probably one of the first things we'll talk about when we do a live broadcast about that.
Yep.
Except for right now, when I just told everybody. Because most of the people that are going are probably on here already.
Well, yeah, because they're interested.
Yeah.
Moving the Mark says the Beaver, that is his coach, is up for sale starting Monday. 5% off for any of the last Saturday live attendee. So yeah, because of his cancer bag, he's gonna stop RVing. So his coach is gonna be for sale. Beautiful coach, by the way.
Yeah.
We had how many? Like 10 people there.
10 or 12 people in it.
We were all so spread.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So yeah, George, make sure you share that link with us and we can all share it around. Just think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, does your phone have a message from Jose on there? Like a text or anything from Jose and his wife? That's weird, because they were at Fort DeSoto for 4 days and I don't remember getting an invite.
Oh no, it's a Facebook post about like we're enjoying here for DeSoto.
Wait a second. Let me see if it's on my phone.
La 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 la.
Hey, yeah, I don't have a message either saying come join us in Fort DeSoto.
But they invited Ellen.
Dan and Ellen? Oh, okay. I see how they are. All right.
It is. We're out of that clique, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
That's fine.
All right.
That's fine.
I see how they are. You guys, it's all right, Jose. I'm just screwing with you. Kevin, just look at your passport. It expires next year, Kevin said. Yeah, that's the other thing. You don't want your passport expiring in the middle of it. So Joan says you can get your passport at the post office. Anywhere? Well, yeah. That's where you can go apply for it. That's where you go and apply for it. Yeah. I think renewals, I don't know if you have to do that. You just have to.
Johnson is in the house. It takes up to 2 months to get a passport. I have to say that's one of the things that Paul envy about, like the timely process in Mexico.
Oh my God.
Like here in the US and in Mexico as well. US and Mexico. If I go and apply for my passport, I will have it same day.
Same day. If she's a Mexican citizen and she's in the States, all she has to do is go to the Mexican consulate and she has it same day. It is crazy.
Or in Mexico, I can go.
Or in Mexico, same day. It is crazy.
And
they're the third world country.
And yeah, in the US, it took me how long it took my passport to get here?
Month and a half,
6
2 months.
weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks, 6 to 8
crazy.
weeks. So it was quite some time. And actually, Tom and Faye, when we went to Mexico last time, they did not have their physical passport with them. So we went to the border and ask, it's like, can they travel there, get their FMM, their permit and everything, and they look them up in the system and they say, yep, we can find you, this is your passport number, put it on the form. They gave them their passport number, put it in the form, and they were able to travel into Mexico even without having the physical passport.
Right.
But they looked up their passport number
right
in the database.
Right. Some people came in late, asked what I did with my hand. Lori stabbed me earlier because I tried to take her food.
He doesn't behave. He just like, yeah.
So I actually took a little trip to the emergency room today to get a couple of stitches put in, and working on an awning and little mishap. So a couple stitches, 4 stitches, but not a big deal. Oh no, it's a big deal, honey. I can't do any more renovation. You're gonna have to finish without me.
Sure.
I can't.
Sure.
I can't do it.
I can do everything if I want to. So
Becky and Dave Smith from Lakeland, Florida, in the house.
Lakeland, that's around the corner.
Right around the corner. We just drove up through there a couple of days ago. So what else is going on? Chris Bellafato sent his renewal in 3 weeks ago. That's your renewal is taking 3 weeks? That's crazy. That is crazy.
It costs $110 to process. Yeah, I cannot even remember how much mine costs, if I'm honest with you.
$35 for the post office to do it, $15 for photos. Yeah, it's always cha-ching. There's a couple of bucks here, a couple of bucks there, but it's good for, I think it's good for 10 years, right? So I think your passport is pretty good. Ours are both been renewed now, and so.
Dave and Bunny says, Baja sounds like a blast with you guys, and we have passports. Can't wait for more info.
Cool.
Oh,
again, Adventure Nation. Let me do this. Let me go Adventure Nation.
He's putting in the chat box.
Adventure Nation caravans.
Yeah.
So I just put the link in there. It's not going to be a link, obviously. You're going to have to copy and paste that, but I just put it in the chat, so you can just grab that and go there, and that'll give you information on that. Let me see if I do this.
You have to put www. He's trying to put the link. Karen, Lorena, did you get all your paperwork back?
I don't think that works.
Paperwork as in my passport? Oh, that was the scariest thing. I got my citizenship, the naturalization paper, like the original paper, and tell you, do not lose this. And when I go and get my passport, they take it away from you, the original.
Yeah.
And they tell you it will be back on the mail 8 weeks from now. And I'm like, oh my God, I just worked so hard to get this. And I'm just giving it away and coming back in mail. Hopefully it doesn't get lost.
I've got another interesting story to tell you guys just how much of a knucklehead I am.
Uh-oh.
So Thursday morning, we get up at 8 o'clock and we leave at 9 o'clock to head up on a 4.5-hour drive to Green Cove Springs to get our citizenships, or not our citizenships done, our driver's license and registration done. We stopped for coffee in Orlando and a Beyond Sausage burger at Dunkin' Donuts, which was awesome. And went to pay for it, and I didn't have my wallet with me, which means I didn't have driver's license, credit cards, identification of any kind with me.
First of all, he has been driving like a madman until that point. So luckily we didn't get pulled over. Second of all, we need that to get all our stuff.
So luckily, Lorena had our passports and social security cards and some other ID with us. And I called Clay County and I said, hey, I don't have my driver's license with me. Can I use my passport and social security card as my 2 forms of identification without my driver's license? And they said, yes, of course. So we drove all the way up there. We get in and start the registration process. And the girl says, I'll just need your driver's licenses. And I said, well, I don't have my driver's license. They told me I could do it with a passport. And she goes, I don't think so. She goes, let me check. And I was like, oh no. And of course, the look on Lori's face is very similar to what she has right now. That look of,
no, I'm paying attention to you.
That look of like, you dumbass. And
that's a different look. Looks the same. Looks kind of the same. Kind of the same. It's a different look.
And she comes back. She goes, oh, no, we'll be fine. I was like, oh, thank God. I was about to be just mad dogged all the way home.
Can you imagine driving 5 hours And all of a sudden, I'm like, oopsie. The one day I need to bring my ID, I didn't bring it. And it's like, oh. So, yeah. Luckily, everything was fine. We dropped there without his driver license. He came back with a driver license. And good news, people, we were able to get in the car our, how you call it, vanity plates, custom plates, like the same thing that we have in Nevada. That was the one thing that was killing me to actually let go. It's like, oh my God, I love my license plate. And we were able to get it in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Somebody says you guys visiting India right now? No. In the future? I mean, we may. I wouldn't mind going to India.
Don Santiago says, still thinking about the Jeep in your future. I have to say, if I have ever considered it, this is the time I really have tried to push Paul to do it, because I think we're going to Baja. We will use it to Baja and all these different things. But also with the whole COVID thing, it's like it has put a dent, I have to say, in our income, because obviously the business not making money, we're not getting paid as well. So that has been a thing.
It's been crazy. Somebody said, well, Kevin said, can you tow a Razor 4 down?
I was wondering.
Absolutely. But what I would do if I were you, dude, I would put a rack on top of the Mini and then just drive the Razor up onto that.
I think it will be bigger than the Mini.
And then just have Laura drive that. And she can have the Razor on top.
That was cool. That was cool right there.
No, not drive the Razor, drive the Mini.
Exactly.
Or they could tow the Razor 4 down, put the Mini on top of that, maybe. That might be an option.
How many stitches did the awning need? The awning was good. Lisa and Jerry of El Paso are watching. Hey, Jerry and Lisa.
Hey. Oh, somebody just said my hand looks really swollen. They've got this huge bandage under there. Yeah, my hand isn't that bad. I'm going to need to give it a little bit of air a little bit because my fingers are tingling a little bit. Of course, I've had it down and had it. Yeah. So I'm going to need to give it some air here in a little while. But yes, so the links are there, AdventureNationCaravans.com if you guys are interested in the Baja thing. Hopefully we're going to be able to go. I think it'll be on, and I think it'll be a ton of fun. It's going to be a little chaotic because what we've noticed is most caravans that are going down there are taking 8 to 10 because it's difficult it's like herding 18 coaches, 20 coaches total. That's like herding cats. So it'll be interesting, but we've done a lot of thinking on how to do that.
If everybody's in a good attitude, then just
that's everything, right? Like if you go down there, of course we'll kick you out of the caravan. If you go down there just expecting everything to be perfect and lose your mind when it's not, then there's nothing we're going to be able to do for you. If you go down there expecting that it's going to be a little bit chaotic, getting fuel, we're going to try to separate fueling so that all 20 coaches don't go into the same fuel stop at the same time. So some maybe fuel in the morning before we leave. Some will fuel at night when we get there. We'll figure that out as we get there. And there's some cities where there's several fuel stops where we can spread out and do, several different fuel stops. So we figure that out. We'll figure that out on the fly. Some of it we've already got in our heads how we could do it, where as the first group's fueling, the second group can be eating their lunches or doing whatever. And then as they start to fuel, then the first group that fueled up can start eating their lunches. And then that way, when everyone's fueled up, we'll be good to go. So there's various ways to handle that. And, we've got suggestions coming in from all different directions from people on how to do that. So we'll figure it out, and a lot of it will be done on the fly. The first one, it'll just be we'll figure it out. And if you go down with the attitude of this is going to be an amazing adventure, it will be an amazing adventure.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people is like Cheryl says, it's called an adventure, and Johnny Journey says, I live in Rosarito, Baja California, Mexico for 8 months. It was great. RV wondering where are we staying in Todos Santos. Todos Santos, we actually, on the way around, we stay at the campground. But we believe there's one new open close to there, not Todos Santos, but Pescadero, that is just around the corner. So we think we can stay there. That's the whole part about scouting.
Rosarito, I think they're talking. He's talking about north.
Todos Santos.
Oh, Todos Santos.
I
yeah.
move on to questions. So So the thing is, like, that's the reason we're going to scout all of that stuff, because we want to see exactly where can we fit that many rigs, because we know a lot of campgrounds where we can fit a lot of many rigs, but there's some gorgeous areas like Los Santos that doesn't have really quite a campground. So we're trying to see where we can stay there.
Right.
Because we might be doing some harvest hosting type thing. That's the one thing that we have been talking about, kind of like talking to some of these people that have some businesses, and just kind of like say, hey, we're going with this many rigs, are we able to fit, and can we support your business?
Some farms
So
or whatever.
we have been kind of like talking about doing stuff in places like those centers that there is not really a formal campground, and the only one that is there that we stay is just a small campground. So
right,
that's why
that's why we're going to go down.
That's
October,
why we're
November.
going to go down. Yeah, October, November.
David Beal says, imagine being following 20 RVs down the Mexican highway. So that's part of the things we have to figure out, Dave. Is
see, Paul says it as it's kind of like, oh, it's too many to fit, too many of this, but caravans doing all the time. And we have met a lot of caravans going down there, or seen a lot of caravans that they go with that many rigs or more, and they make it.
Right. So you know, when it comes to that kind of thing, we might go, 2 rigs, half-mile opening, 2 rigs, half-mile opening, 2 rigs. It's going to spread us way out, but that at least gives people the opportunity to get around us. And there's going to be parts where we have to pull off, and let people around. If it gets too crazy, we're going to have to find spots to pull over and let people by, because it will be frustrating.
And they're very far in between. I was looking at a question from Sharon. Childress says, question, if you are being from New Jersey to Arizona, do we have to quarantine in each state for 14 days? I know if you fly from Arizona to New Jersey, you have to quarantine for 14 days. I have to say the New England area and the whole New Jersey, New York area, all that area, Northeast, they have very strict rules when it comes to quarantining. If you're switching states, if you're switching everything, they make you quarantine for 14 days. But I will say the rest of the country, we know people that are traveling, and they have told us they have not.
If you're just driving through,
have an issue with that.
Again, that makes no sense from a standpoint of, if you're not going near any people, why would they require you to do that?
No, what it should be versus what it is.
Right. No, I understand that. Logic says, why?
But here's the thing, is like, we also heard some people traveling that they were asked at the border, for how long are you staying in our state, and people sometimes it's like, we're just passing through, only 1 or 2 nights while we pass through the state or something like that, and they just let them go. It's like, yep, sure, no worries, just go. And
so for those of you guys who are traveling, like Mark and Cheryl, Kevin and Laura travel a little bit. Kevin and Don, you guys are out. Has that been an issue? If you can help answer Sharon's question, because we really haven't been.
No, we're just like relaying information that we have heard from people that we know, but that's the only thing that we know about.
Brian Edgar says, will there be stops without with no hookups? Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Be prepared for. Here's the thing, and I will say, I shouldn't be talking about this because it's going to be part of what we're going to talk about. But just quick, we're going to be in areas that there is no hookups whatsoever, but they're gorgeous areas. But we're also going to put like a little thing there where you don't have to go. You can stay on full hookups area, and then we go through this. It's going to be like
that's only one portion.
Exactly. The one portion.
They have to stay no hookups for a night or two.
That's one night.
Bahia de Los Angeles, they have to stay no hookups for 1 or 2 nights.
That's one day. No, I'm talking about the week.
No, a week. Yeah, it'll be. There is a spot where we may go close to a week with 0 hookups.
But literally park in front of the ocean, and you can go and take your flippers and mask and go snorkeling.
Yeah.
So,
but here's the deal: if you can run on a generator, if you have a Jenny that you can run with, then you're going to be able to run your generator. We're just going to ask that. If you're going to run it 24/7, if you have to run CPAP or something like that, that you park as far away from the other people or pointing away from us as much as possible, because there's a lot of us solar snobs that are zero noise.
Short answer, there's going to be places.
There is going to be places.
For the most part, it's going to be 1 night here or something like that. But there's one, it's going to be optional. You can go, you can stay in a campground, and we will come back.
We're going to leave Los Barillas and go into an area called the East Cape, and it's Los Frailes, and it's the Cabo Pomo National Park.
Don't go too detailed because some people are not interested in that.
I know, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be probably a 35-mile drive down a dirt road. Just kind of a washy washboardy dirt road.
Chuck says Kevin has enough solar for us all.
Yeah, you can just plug into Kevin. That absolutely, he'll bring a lot of extension cords.
And if we convince Vic and Tammy to go, their generator can power a city.
Yeah, Vic and Tammy, they could just pull up and we could all put extension cords out to Vic and Tammy.
Yeah. Kevin Klein, do they allow generators? Like, Mexico doesn't have too many rules, really. So that is a good and a bad thing. It's like good thing because, yeah, you can use generator wherever you want. Bad thing because you will have the weekend party warriors that they will go and party at the beach until 2-3 in the morning.
And that's part of the adventure that we're talking about is like there's going to be some times where if we're at a beach on a weekend, it's going to be tough to sleep because they're partying and screaming and yelling and playing their music. And so, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Farah says that's why we came back to Texas to do our solar install. Get ready for Baja. Absolutely. If you have solar, you have nothing to worry about, really. Just I would say the only thing will be tanks. Well, no, I guess one night here, 2 nights there. Everybody can live.
Yeah, I would say if you want to look, you're going to be the ocean's right there. You don't need to shower every single day. You can jump in the ocean and do a quick douse down. So you might have to go, I would say 4 to 5 days at the very, very most on the water supply that you have. If you came down in a class B, you're going to be close enough to a little spot where you can go get water, but it's a rough in and out if you have to. But I would say plan on being able to be off the hook for 4 to 5 days. So that means generator and then enough water for that. And that's, again, stuff we'll go over once we get
I was going to say, don't go too deep because we were going to go through in deep on all
Chuck
this.
says, who wants to sleep? Exactly. There's no time for sleeping.
Frank
on
says,
that anyways.
campground aren't that good in Mexico for hookups. I would say the only thing you have to be worried about is not the sewage, is not the water. It's going to be the electricity.
Right.
That's
water pressure. We found water pressure to be decent down there. We found sewer to be decent down there. But yeah, your power is 15 amps. So you're not going to plug in and throw on both your ACs, throw something in the microwave and, do that stuff.
Just going back just very briefly, very quick. It's like for people answering if they have to quarantine while traveling. Karen's Exploring Coast to Coast says we have to quarantine 14 days in New Mexico, but no one asked you about it. And then the Breeze, that is Chuck, he just traveled from Colorado to North Carolina and was not even questioned about anything. Cheryl, that they just went from North Carolina towards Michigan, they said no quarantine between the states. So it's like, for what they see, it's like there has been no issues, problems traveling.
Right. Be smart. You don't want to carry this thing from one area to the other. So again, wash your hands. If you have to go into the store, inside of the store, wear a mask inside the store, but wash your hands. When you're done pumping gas, throw some, what's the stuff? The hand sanitizer. After you're done pumping gas, I do this. Usually before pumping gas, hand sanitizer, so that I'm not the one putting anything on the pump. After I'm done pumping gas, hand sanitizer. I walk in, stick out my hand, Lori pours it in my hand sanitizer. So that way you're not spreading from gas pump to gas pump, which again is kind of a not so much anyways. But Chuck, of course, yes, he says he licked every gas pump along the way.
How did it go?
I like the taste of rubber.
Was it salty?
Was it salty, dude? Fred and Lynn just went to Ohio and back and just wore masks. Yeah, if you go inside of a store or something, wear a mask inside of the store. Most are requiring it anyways, but again,
so Fred and Lynn, are you guys back? I thought you guys were going to South Carolina, North Carolina.
I guess they just said there and back.
Yeah, it's Ohio, but I thought it was the Carolinas where they were going.
Tom says they have little bottles of sanitizer on their belt, so it's always handy. I want a picture of that. I want a picture of Tom with his hand sanitizer.
Interesting flavors by state. I'm assuming like Louisiana's Cajun.
Yeah, was there Cajun in Louisiana? Yeah,
Texas
absolutely.
will be
Texas barbecue.
barbecue.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, that's disgusting.
What would be Florida? I don't know. A little seafood here. Fishy? I don't know.
MYK says drink tequila after. Yes, absolutely. That doesn't work, by the way.
I went one time to one of my physicians and everything, and for some reason the conversation came up about sushi. And he told me, he's like, he asked me, I've drank, it's part of the thing, it's like socially and that kind of stuff. And he told me, he's like, well, if you eat sushi, I highly recommend, like, afterwards, have a shot of something.
To kill any bacteria.
Tequila, or anything
Bacteria,
to kill any
right.
bacteria.
Yeah.
And
Well,
was
the
like,
reason that doesn't work with this is a virus, not a bacteria. So yeah, it doesn't
exactly.
work.
No, I'm
Right.
just talking about sushi. So.
Right. Okay. All right.
Furthermore, in September we leave again. Oh, I didn't know you guys were back. Otherwise, it's like go to the beach.
Yeah, we are going to make a trip to the beach here some day soon. We hope. Well, I'm not. I'm not going to be able to go in the water until this.
You can just go in with your hand up.
Everyone, and then everyone will wave to me, like they'll think I'm waving to everybody. Hey guys.
The lifeguard will come.
Lifeguard, what do you need, sir? I'm just keeping my hand above water. Oh, I thought you were waving me down.
I thought
you're shark. When you put your hand up like that, it means shark.
Donald Klein says that it will be a great idea if 2021, we both will go together to Banff. It's like a huge joke because we will go there together. For the people that know the joke, we were in courtside 2 years ago. 2 years ago, something like that. And when
You're going to throw her under the bus right here?
She keeps bringing back Banff. And people know. People that went to courtside.
Yeah, they know, but a lot of people don't know.
So doing the RV icebreakers, that is what Kevin's game that he invented, and it's just hilarious. It's like one of the questions to her was like, what is your TME favorite episode? And
where did we visit?
Well, what was their favorite one? And she said Banff. And we're like, we all laugh. It's like, we have never been to Banff.
Yeah, but like, KYD had.
Yeah, so it's like from there it came.
It's been a standing joke with Dawn. Poor girl. We've been drilling her for 2 years now, almost.
Every time that we get together, Banff comes kind of like into the conversation. So that's why she's saying it would be like the good end or punchline of the joke if we go there together.
Yeah. So Tom is sending pictures about his hand sanitizer. Dennis Bierman says, "Is that hand sanitizer in your pocket? Or are you just happy to see me?"
The breeze, Tom. I've seen the sanitizer in your shorts before.
Oh wow, Chuck, we need to ask about that one, dude. Yeah. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. Like the folks that do go to Baja, it's going to be fun. And again, our thoughts are if we go over 18, we might have to do a second trip.
Yeah, if there is really,
I don't think we will, but
we don't know.
We'll see.
We thought only 20 will show up to the
We thought we were going to have 20 rigs for the RV thing.
So it's like, and you were a little bit mistaken there.
we were a little mistaken.
But we think like with the whole Corona thing, it's going to put a little bit of a dent into
it's going to put a dent in it.
People's thoughts about going into Baja, into a different country. So that's why. That is not that far. You literally we have a lot of people we know, they make it back in 2 days. Or even, in 2 days, or even 2 nights, 2 days coming back from Baja. Like if you're at the bottom of Baja and you have to hustle back to the U.S. for any reason,
you can do 2 to 3 days.
2 days, 2 to 3 days.
It's 1,000 miles, but it's 1,000 miles of very, very narrow road.
Rhonda only did one overnight.
Well, they drive like mad people as well. So, yeah.
But anyway, so that's your, like, if you're thinking about like that kind of stuff, is like that would be something to think about.
David Beal said, "Hey, Brian Nawa is in the house. I'm gonna have to ask Brian how he actually pronounces his last name. Is there any Alaska caravan in the future? That would be amazing.
We have been talking lately about doing caravans to different parts. Just like, hey, let's all do a caravan. A lot of people want to go to New Brunswick, Nova Scotia area, to Alaska. Just the different areas, right? So it's like we have talked
and there are companies that do them. Holy smokes, they're brutal.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like we saw some of what the Baja caravans charge, and we're like, that is a little bit ridiculous for the amount of time they do it.
Was a 15-day caravan?
2
week caravan was $3,500. I was like, holy crap, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Now they do include some meals and stuff like that, but you don't want us cooking for you. So,
well, we thought like with so many people's different diets. Just like it will be hard.
Kevin says he's releasing tickets to the second Baja trip at midnight.
Jesus.
Oh my God, he's a funny. Oops, I almost said it. I almost said it live. I almost said the F word. He's a funny mofo.
FOMO. I meant FOMO. He's like, Kevin, do you have a spare ticket? Then it says, it's like, can't believe it.
Yeah, Orioles fan says caravan the Dalton Highway and in Canada the Dempster Highway. Yes, let's do a caravan up the Dempster. We'll have 3 people that want to go on that. They saw what our RV looked like after that.
I don't know if I would like to do Dalton, although we did not do it. Just the fact that you cannot get all the way to the Arctic Ocean, it's just kind of like a bummer. Like, why to do it if you're not gonna get there?
Have you been up there? Like, I don't know who's been up the Dalton and then like taking the bus the rest of the way or something like that. I don't know much about that. Yeah,
I know there is tour companies that they do day trips doing that. Like, they go all the way up and down in one day.
Tammy says if we do Alaska caravan, we're in.
Let's do it.
Cool.
I can go back to Alaska.
You guys need to have a working awning though to be able to go on the Alaska caravan. So we're gonna have to get that taken care of.
Here's to our viewers, Dan and Ellen. Is like, Kevin Miller, sign us up for Baja 2. It's already 7 tickets for the Baja 2. Oh my God. Kevin Klein, midnight Central Time or Mountain Time?
MYK says, why go to the same place again? What we mean is if we get more than 18, like let's say all of a sudden for whatever reason 40 people sign up, we can't take 40. We can't take 40 down there. It would be an absolute nightmare.
Well, no, there's some places we literally could not even stay.
We couldn't stay. Now think about the highways here, that a lot of them are 4-lane highways where we could do groups of, we could somehow spread out a little bit. Down there, it is the narrowest 2-lane road you've ever been on for 700 miles of the 1,000 miles. So it's really, really narrow. It'd just be a nightmare with 40. So we thought we would take down 18, do February, March, and then do April, May. So that's what we're talking about when it came to that respect.
RVing Mojo says, I have one friend who was doing an Alaskan caravan with a rental. They said it's only 17,000. I choked. So just the fact that it says only 17,000. Yeah, like I said, some of these caravans, I think they are outrageous.
Yeah.
It's like, so.
Yeah, so we need to get into that, because if people pay that, man, holy smokes.
Being outrageous, it's like, just have fun with people you
Right. For us, yeah, we're going to make a little bit of money on it, but we want to just have fun as well. And we want everybody else to have fun. And when I saw what some of these were charging, I was like, holy crap. But $17K, how long is that? I hope that's a couple of months. So Chris and Brenda says they fly into San Jose and meet us in Barillos. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. It's a short drive. It's like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Or an hour, something like that. It's a short drive. Yeah.
Yeah, we could figure that out. Guys, bring your tents, or we could figure out some way to get extra beds for you guys. We could put this bad boy here out for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the one thing about Los Barriles, you don't think about this, but all the casitas and all this wherever it is that you can stay there, everything sells out in the winter. Like there is high demand there. I'm not joking. It's crazy.
Brandy and Z are signing up for Kevin's Atlanta boondocking tour.
Nice. We need to sign up for that one. I don't know where to boondock in Atlanta. 17K Canadian? Ed ask. Like, well, that would be nice. What is the exchange now? Now I don't know.
So David Beal said, could people do potluck dinners during their caravans, or were there plans for food each day?
I think
we will do that.
Yeah, I think we will do potlucks, but again, it's like you will have to be very aware of sometimes even labeling your food, because it's because there is
dieting nowadays is terrible. You got to remember that you've got Kevin and Laura who are true blue vegans.
It's not even them. It's like there's many people.
I'm just saying,
vegan, vegetarians, gluten free, keto.
I was about to get into that, but you weren't letting me.
No, you're singling people out.
What's that? Well, I was singling us out too. I was going to say we're vegetarian, and then you're pescatarian, so she'll eat vegetarian, but adds in fish.
So who's gluten free?
And then I don't know who's gluten free, but I was just using us as examples. Kevin and Laura and you and I are the biggest pain in the ass, and then the rest of the people can pretty much the most of the majority of the others.
I don't know that. I've met people that they can barely eat
Well,
anything.
that's true. That's
some
true.
people with allergies and stuff. So that's the only thing I will be aware of. But it's like I would love to do some potlucks and
Right. I still think it's possible. You just need to. You might have people with nut allergies, so we'd have to make sure. Is there anybody with a nut allergy? So you have to that kind of thing. We'd have to make sure that we're labeling stuff to know this is good, that's good. So that will be a component that absolutely we would love to do that. There is going to be a couple of paid for things where the caravan hosts us will take care of a beach party and some other stuff. So there's going to be a little bit of that as well. But for the most part, everyone's going to be on their own for food. And then when we meet in restaurants and things like that, we're just going to have to, you'll figure that all out. They're really good about accommodating everybody. So if we sit in tables of 4 or 6 or whatever, they'll divide the bills up. It's not like here where you go, hey, there's 6 of us and we'd like 3 bills. And they go, like down there, it's like, oh, no problem. We'll split it up for you. We'll split it into 6.
The nice thing about Mexico is they're very accommodating. Even they don't have stuff in the menu. If you tell them these are my dietary restrictions, like I cannot eat this or that or whatever, they'll say, okay, no problem. I can do this, this, and this, and this for you. Would you like that? Oh yeah, it's like do that. So they will accommodate you even if it's not in the menu. So that's a nice thing about Mexico.
Dave and Bonnie from the SpaceX launcher.
Yeah,
here.
I was looking that they're in for Alaska.
Hey,
we're gonna be around Tarpon Springs.
Bonnie sent me some information
sometime
that I meant to share with you and I forgot.
Oh, you never share anything.
No, I know.
But we're gonna be in Tarpon Springs, so Dan, Ellen, Bonnie, and so we will see all of you and Dave. We will see all of you there around that area.
Yeah. So Linda Azuma says she's not allergic to anybody except for her mother-in-law. So that's awesome.
Look who's here. You guys were asking about him.
We haven't been letting him out at all lately because he was a pain in the ass that one night, and so.
Well, no, now he's getting lost in this property for some reason. He's too big for you, buddy.
He's a little bit hard to see in the dark. If you haven't noticed that, he's a little bit hard to see against your shirt.
I'm trying to put my face so they can see their face.
Yeah, it looks like you're just wearing a big puffy black shirt right now. But Chris and Brenda said they'd rent a house on the Sea of Cortez. That'd be awesome. I think you guys should rent like 15 or 20 bedroom house. That'd be great, and then we can all just come home party with
a pool, please.
Yeah, make sure it's got a pool. That'd be awesome. Oh, I don't know if we can have them come to Baja with us.
Why?
Because it'll rain.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I think we're full.
Yeah.
I think everything's full.
I don't think there's any more room.
So mad.
No,
so
they're awesome.
They're so bad. So mean.
Here's to our Dan and Alan said they'll join us in Tarpon Springs. Awesome. Yay. That'd be cool. That'd be very cool. Will we still be in Florida for voting season? We'll be there. No, we have mail-in ballots coming. So go ahead and fight away about mail-in ballots. Discuss. We're going to have mail-in ballots. We already signed up for that.
Well, you see, as an RVer, full-time RVer, and traveling everywhere, that's pretty much the only way you can vote.
Right. So, yes.
Or we will have to drive all the way back here for that.
It gets dark there early. Well, it's 9 o'clock. So, yeah. Yeah, when you're further north, it stays light later. But down here, about 8:45 is when it's dark here.
Ozzy's smelling the mic. He's like, looks like he's talking to the mic.
So Ever Alvarez says, do you pay import deposit for RV and car, and what tools do you use to find boondocking places? So going over a lot of that stuff will be what will happen in our upcoming. Don't lick the mic, Ozzy. People are gonna be going, what's that noise? That I don't know what's on the mic, but don't do that, dude. He likes the mic, whatever that is. But we're going to go over some of that stuff when we start to do these future things. So again, adventurenationcaravans.com and get on the mailing list so that when we do one of these things, a live broadcast, then we'll send you guys out emails about that. But no, you don't have to pay an import deposit when you go to Baja. If you go into Mexico, then you have to pay what's called a TIP. But when you go into Baja, you don't. It's a $40 FMM. It's just a tourist visa that you pay. The tools we use for finding boondocking spaces, I think
for the most part is
all stays
in Baja.
No, not in Baja. Well, down in Baja, down there we used iOverlander.
Yeah,
and
that's literally the only one.
The thing about iOverlander is it's really set up for van lifers and people with smaller RVs. So you have to be very, very cautious when you're traveling in a larger rig. So if you do have a larger rig, like a 35 footer or something, and you're using the app, make sure that you're, writing those reviews in so that people with bigger RVs know. But for the most part, we found that it was pretty tiny spaces in a lot of the areas.
Mm-hmm. Tip? You mean propina?
Yeah.
No.
Not
that kind of
TIP, not a tip. Transportation in something. I don't know what it stands for, but
well, yeah, but the one place I wanted to take Paul, he has not been. I have been, and actually, Chuck, you have been. Is Rocky Point?
Right. You don't need the TIP for going into Rocky Point.
No. Sonora, like that's the area that you don't need it, like Sonora, and because so popular between tourists and American Canadians. So, but that's a place I wanted to go with you.
Right. There's your one of your first Spanish lessons. Chuck brought it up. Tip in Spanish is propina. So propina is when you're at a restaurant. Propina is your tip.
You give the tip, yeah.
Yeah. And in Baja, it's like what? Usually 10 to 12%.
The tip?
Yeah, in Baja.
In
the
Baja,
bill?
probably 10%.
10%. We still normally tip
10%. If it's extremely good service, you go 15.
Do 15. But
Paul tips in Baja.
I still tip 20%.
No, probably like 30-40%. Like,
no, we did the one night because it was
like, oh my god, this was only $5. No, let me give you another $5. That's just too low. Like that is Paul. It's like
Tom and Faye and Kevin and Laura remember there were 6 of us out for dinner the one night. Like it came course after course after course after course. It was like 6-course meal.
Beautiful, and pre-looking,
just food. Crazy. And it was like $40 for the 6 of us. And I think we wound up leaving 80.
40 or 60?
40, I don't know. It was crazy inexpensive. And we were like, we left the guy a bunch of tip. But yeah, it was crazy.
Rocky Point is in the tourist zone. I know, but I still want Paul to see it.
Mark Noakes says, what about a 45 fiber with dually? You're talking to go to Baja. It's going to be challenging. You can do it. Like there's 45-foot coaches that we know people are down there. 45-foot coaches pulling a 30-foot 2-story trailer. We've met people down there that do that every single year. And you can do it. It's just going to be challenging, dude. Know that in a towable, because a lot of the curves are so tight and there's literally zero roadside at all. When you're going into some corners, you're going to have to stop and wait for trucks to come so that you can swing wide so that you don't drop the wheels of your trailer off the road. That will be very, very bad.
So it's not impossible. We see a lot of big rigs down there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, beware, you're going to get into some tight situations.
Until you get down into Baja California Sur, which in around the 700-mile mark, something like that.
And we saw it was Loreto. Mm. Loreto and Salvador's. Santa Rosalia down where it was really better road. Brian says, when is the new version of the RV tour going to come out now that you've redone everything? It's like, well, once we are done with everything, it's like, then we do that. And I think he asked again, did you have to pay import taxes for crossing the border Baja for both RV and car?
Neither.
No, because we're in the exempt area.
Yeah, so and Baja's exempt. The rest of Mexico, yes.
Yeah, if we will have to go, I know there's tours that take you down to the Cancun area, Playa del Carmen area, like the Yucatan, Quintana Roo, like the South End. Going there, yes, you have to pay for that. But where we're going, no. Right,
and if you're crossing the border just for the day, you don't have to get an FMM or anything. If you're within a few miles of the border, you don't need any of that stuff. You can pop over, walk across. You don't need FMMs for that. FMM is the tourist visa, which is $40.
Yeah, Chuck says no visa needed in a tourist zone. Right. Like if you're just across the border, no. But if you like Rocky Point, for example, is not that far from the border.
It's in a tourist zone.
Still in a tourist zone, but no, you need an FMM. At that point, you're going into Mexico.
Oh, yeah. You need an FMM. You just don't need you don't need to pay the tip and you don't need to do the tip and stuff on the cars.
No. Sonora, Baja, the Bajas are exempt, but yeah, you need an FMM.
So a couple more minutes.
2 more minutes.
Chuck says like 60 miles, something like that.
Yeah, it's like super quick. Like it's literally an hour, a few hours, if anything. But yeah, that's why I want to take Paul over there. I told Paul like we should drop them there and then go through Mexico. In Mexico, I run into Baja for the scouting, but he doesn't want to do that.
Right. I put the link in one more time to the AdventureNationCaravans.com website. if you want information on Baja, or if you want to learn some Spanish in the next little while, Lori's going to be doing some Spanish classes
No,
as well.
I have to say the Spanish and all that is going to be closed classes. Once like people have signed up, it's going to be like focus on the people going into Mexico.
Right. That is true.
Because this is what we're going to do. The first class is going to be more like a question, answers, doubts that you have, and kind of like explaining what you're getting into, the goods and the bads, see if it's something that you would like to do. And that's going to be the first things, the first classes, the first, I don't want to call it tutorials, but it's like the first things we're going to talk about. But then after that, it's going to come up the signing up. Once people are signing up, at that point, it's going to be like, okay, this is the serious group. This is the one we're going to focus into the Spanish classes and prepare for Baja. What you need to know, what you need to bring with you.
Right.
I mean, how to prepare for Baja, what you need to get.
Right.
So at that point, it's like, it's going to be kind of like close, kind of like chats and lives and
for people who are just going. Right. So it's a little bit more intimate, and so that we have time to answer questions. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
So cool. Before we go, I just want to say, Jose, is like, what if we go to the Tarpon Springs area? Will be cool, and still keep social distance, but can't hang out. It's like that would be a cool thing to do, because I saw Dan and Ellen and Jose talking about that area.
I'll reach out to those guys. Tom says everyone yell out Jumanji so we can get out of this crazy COVID game. Yeah, exactly. Don says you guys have no idea. Some do, but camping with this bunch is so great. A must do. Paul and Lorena, Kevin and Laura, best trips. Don, your check is in the mail, and we will make sure that you continue to receive your commissions. Thank you so much for that, Don. We appreciate that.
So I think
Banff, August, September of 2021. Dude, we might not be back from Baja by then if we get stuck down there because of COVID. You never know. But
look, even
it's not out of the question. August, September in Banff? Are you crazy? By then it could be starting to get a little chilly.
Yeah.
It might be.
I mean,
no, but not out of the question.
We met people from Alberta in Alaska, and they told us that September was one of the best months because the crowds are out and weather is not bad.
Not
bad.
Right.
So.
Right.
But anyway, time to go.
Lou, thank you. Hit that like button. Yes, that like. We appreciate that. That would be amazing, and it makes us feel good. Two crooked thumbs up. Well, this thumb is really. I can't crooked it. There we go. Two crooked thumbs up, and we appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. As always, we love doing the Last Saturday Lives. We love the fact that you guys are hanging out and getting to know each other in the comments section. That's awesome. And thank you, Kevin, for moderating. I don't know if we had any jackasses on tonight, did we?
I did not see any
Really?
jackass, but at the beginning we were talking so much, so I'm not sure if that's the truth, but yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see you again soon. And once we get this renovation done, then we'll get back into doing some more videos. So
we need so bad to be done.
We need it so bad to be done. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Say good night, Lorena.
Good night, guys. Nancy saying good night, everybody.